Hi, how you doing? How both of you doing?
Hey, Wayne.
Hey, good to see
Wayne,
you.
Jeremiah,
Hey,
how y'all
Jonas.
doing? What's up, buddy?
And this is the first time you two met?
I think
Yeah,
so.
Cool, cool, awesome, awesome. Well, want to do brief intros if you can go say where you're based out of and what you do, and we'll jump right in.
After you, Jonas.
yeah. Jonas Street here, senior global social media manager over at Cadence, headquartered in San Jose. I just moved out to Charlotte, North Carolina, so out here right now, but back and forth, so bi-coastal. A bit of my backstory: used to work at Intel, social media manager there, then went to Roku, things there. But before that, did a few things in some entertainment stuff. So had a record deal at age 15, opened up for like folks like Usher, stuff like that. From there, was a finalist from American Idol. Then after that, graduated college and acted alongside the late great Chadwick Boseman and Gary Owyang, and then found my way into the tech industry, and it's been beautiful ever since.
Nice, nice. I'm smiling because Jonas, I did a Twitter Spaces not too long ago, and so I did, I didn't know he, so much about his acting career and his singing career, so I got a chance to learn about that. So it's good to hear it
Yeah,
again. Thanks for joining us, Jonas.
definitely.
Jeremiah, we go way back.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do. I actually have a similar career background as Jonas. I was a early social media manager at Hitachi Data Systems, and I know the social media team at Intel and new folks. I went to Cadence, so we're similar in that way. And Jonas also, I'm a dad of twins, and they're 3 years old.
Oh yeah, I have. Well, I guess I didn't say that yet. I got twins, so the twins just turned 4, and I have a new like a 1-year-old.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
So I'm a tech entrepreneur based in Silicon Valley. I've started a number of research firms. I have been a tech analyst tracking trends. Some of the trends that I've tracked have been tech wellness. And also, I've interviewed many tech wellness managers in HR. So that last panel was super interesting and relevant. And on occasion, I host shows in Clubhouse in the Wellness Club, which I founded. And then I try to practice these things during these difficult times.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for being here. And for those who are watching, as you can see, why DC Humans are perfect for this panel around like work-life balance because they're doing a lot. They're fathers, they're husbands, they're entrepreneurs, they work in tech and show hosts. So with all that, how has life changed for both of you over the last year and a half with the pandemic?
man, life has been crazy, and I'll tell you, we. I started working at Cadence in October of 2019, and then like found out earlier that year that we were pregnant with our third child, and then our third child was born in January. So we were locked down with all 3 kids at home, newborn. The twins were still 2, so everybody was in diapers.
Wow.
It was crazy. Work was going, just new job. My wife was still working, so it was a lot. It was a lot, man. And I'll say this: had it not been for my great wife, a great partner, I don't know how I would have done it because she took a lot of the burden, and I want to make note of that it was because of her that we're still here.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been challenging. Business in Q2 for my organization, really slowed down. The PPP checks helped out from the government. Political chaos, uncertainty. Oh, don't forget the smoke in the air, gentlemen.
Yeah.
And climate change. And I created this one graphic. You guys can all find it online. It's called the crisis cake. It's one of the worst graphics that I regret, but I had to do, and it lists out like all the challenges that we're dealing with. climate change, political unrest, infodemic, mental health issues. It's just like we're dealing with a lot, not to mention the occasional news report about UFOs. So yeah, it's been challenging.
Yeah.
Very, very hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And with that, what do you feel like is your secret to succeeding, and do you feel like you're thriving?
Jeremiah, you want to go, buddy?
Oh no, I think you got things under control more than I do. I want to learn from you.
And I'll put it like this. It's a lot of planning, a lot of sometimes, like it's really, things can happen just without you even knowing, or just like surprises. So that's why we gotta have a plan in place, like bedtime. We gotta have hours set that we can get work done. We gotta find time to go work out. We gotta find time to eat. I think the planning process of it has been the biggest thing for us that's kind of helped us get to where we are. Because I mean, let's face it, we're at that stage now. The twins, they're 4, and we're in that year of a stretch where if they go to bed, if they go to bed early and miss their nap, they're going to be high energy up until bedtime, right? But if they take that nap, then they're going to be high energy and go to bed later. So it's like a catch-22, man. So I guess this doesn't last forever, right? So I will look back at these times and kind of miss those moments.
Got it.
Jonas, that's what I tell myself. Like I had to manage. We have a third child as well, so I had to manage all 3 kids, and the older one had homeschool. This was like Q3, Q2 last year, and it was so stressful. My wife is on the front lines in healthcare, dealing with COVID testing at the hospital. And so, yeah, it was just a lot, and it was very challenging, and I was very frustrated, and I was angry. I was an angry person, and it was just challenging. Hopefully we don't have to go back to that, and that was a difficult time. But I think, so a few years ago, I cut out alcohol. That helped, and I started to get back into fitness and trying to eat clean, and I lost weight. So all of those investments, literally like investments, and I like the last speaker used the term mental wealth, right? And all of those investments started to pay off dividends, right? Not have to worry about some of those things because you could rely on those things, being healthier and having energy and knowing how to take care of yourself. I mean, there's a famous adage, right? You can't take care of others till you take care of yourself first. Otherwise, you're just going to burn out. But of course, yes, I did burn out, and it's a crazy thing. So that's why I'm so grateful that we have the Icon Summit to come together and talk about these things. So.
Cool. Thanks. Appreciate that, Jeremiah. Jeremiah, you maybe you received some press in the beginning of the pandemic when you kind of shift gears from like working inside the house, and I think you set up an Airstream at home, like
Sure.
in the backyard. Can you share about that decision around like I'm gonna set up an Airstream and have a different work environment, and how you that and the difference of kind of like the future work, like the future work and work from home, and how do you think all that's going to evolve in the end?
So years before the pandemic, right when we had the twins, it was too loud in the house, and it wasn't acceptable to have kids running around during a Zoom call. It just wasn't. So I am a business owner, small business. I'm not claiming any billionaire success at all. We have a nice life, but I don't live in Atherton, the expensive neighborhood in Silicon Valley or Palo Alto. And so I purchased an Airstream, and I worked with my accountant. And for anybody here who's a business owner, entrepreneur, you can get something like this, or an ADU, or a studio shed, and build a backyard office, and you can write it off. And so I did get an Airstream, and it's dedicated to work only. And no, I don't take it out. It just sits back there just for meetings or when I'm doing things. I was going to go out there for this event, but I actually just wanted to be inside around like the green type of thing. Feels good. So because I was listening to how you guys are talking, but usually I would do my stuff out of there. But so that was an early precursor to working from home, and that was before the pandemic. And now, this is such a regular thing for companies to be having people going home and working. In fact, just last night it was announced Twitter has sent employees home, and Facebook and Apple are delaying people going in, and Google. So big change.
Yeah. Jonas, I think you mentioned on our Twitter Spaces conversation that you've been working home for a while, working for remote.
Yeah.
That was a conversation, being at Cadence around working from home and so forth, and you think it's going to be permanent?
I think there's this hybrid approach. I feel like maybe what we see in the future for Cadence and most tech companies, because there are some people who have to be in the labs that are making the chips, or who have to be in person to get things done. But then there are also folks like me who all I need is a laptop or my phone and internet, and I can get my job done anywhere in the world. That's why I'm really trying to go take a work trip in Aruba,
Yeah, I feel you that. With that being said, like in the tech industry, history has been all about work all day, work all night, stay up late, burn midnight, or burnout was considered like a trophy, so to speak.
Yeah.
I feel like personally, like I idolize the wrong things in tech. With that, right? I idolize like I used to do this thing where from like 12 p.m. 12 to 2 a.m. That was like my getting things done hours, right? And we know that that's not good for our health, right?
No.
And you all are, have a whole completely different lifestyle than I have in terms of like twins and kids and so forth. I have a son, but he's in the East Coast with his mom. But how do you feel like the industry, the tech industry, is focused more now on the human needs, your needs as humans, as men, around wellness and growth versus just get things done?
Yeah. Working in social media, you're able to see what's going on across all industries. And I feel like lately there's been a heightened sense around talking about your mental health and well-being, right? And people are coming out and speaking about it, speaking on it, and they've been using social media to spread that. So I guess you have this is the good side of social media, and also the bad side of social media. But the good side, man, is saying, hey, we need to take a break. Like if it's not working for me right now, let's take some time back. Find time to go spend time with your mom or your family, or find time to go ride your bike, right? Like Wayne, find time to go play ball. You know what I'm saying? I played ball in college, and that's something I love to do. Now I try to play ball 2 to 4 times a week, and when I'm out there and just me and the ball, I feel like Shepherd from Above the Rim, just playing,
Yeah, I can add to that. So I actually did a research project. My role is as a tech analyst with a company called Ring Central, and we surveyed workers at home in a couple of major countries, and we found that some companies, their employee productivity was down because the companies didn't make them feel connected. I'm not talking about network connectivity. I'm not talking about webcams. I'm talking about communicating, allowing people to communicate directly to each other, peer to peer, sharing information, replicating the tribe that you have at work. They weren't set up to replicate that at home. And as a result, like mental health for many people went down. We also saw that women struggled more working from home because even at the home, men were more likely to have a dedicated office where women would just have to work from the kitchen. Like we saw inequities just within the houses. Not that men were trying to do that, but very few homes were set up for 2 home offices in many cases, right? We're talking about knowledge workers only. So that was one example, but I've seen a few solutions to build off Jonas's excellent points, such as just days off, right? Where the whole company shuts down, and it's got to be company wide, or people feel FOMO. So the last speakers were talking about. He said that he doesn't have meetings on Wednesdays, and I saw a funny tweet. It's a horrible tweet, and it said it was this husband. He said, "My wife works at Airbnb, and on Wednesdays they have no meeting Wednesdays. Everybody books her calendar because that's the only day nobody has meetings." So it only goes so far, and then companies are trying to be more empathetic. Like the businesses need to listen in and check in with the individual. And in many cases, these are behaviors that weren't done before. To actually care about the individual and their family. And now the power is in the hand of the workers, because workers are quitting at a fantastic rate, higher than we've seen in a long time. And for the workers that are still on the market, they're getting job offers, and people have reduced their cost of living, or they move to cheaper areas. There's lots of opportunities.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks both for sharing. Yeah, and I'm excited to see the shift. What I feel like is a shift, or the hope is a shift, is that we see, especially in tech, we see companies really support the whole individual, right? Like everything from parental leave to mental health to wellness, to avoid burnout, and because to me it's been a missing link in the conversation, around like growth or success. It's like historically it's all been about the numbers. Like this week, a lot of companies are putting out their earnings. Always been about the numbers. And we forget about that. Okay, it's not just the coders, is the one who built things, but it's the humans at the entire organization to help make the company thrive and be success versus, just about the numbers. So I hope this shift is happening in terms, and we see more people speak out about their wellness and mental health. And I asked this question in the previous session, but I'm curious about both of your thoughts. Is what can we do more, or how can we help change the narrative around the double standards of what we're seeing of women, what we see right now, Black and brown women actually speak about their mental health awareness and getting criticized for it, versus we seeing like, men speak out, even myself, or like the NBA players speak about mental health awareness and being like, oh, thanks for being so brave. Like, what, I'm curious, do you have thoughts on like those double standards, and what can we do to correct that?
That's that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. And a lot of times, in everyday life, whether it's husband and wife, whether it's parenting or whatever the case may be, it seems like a lot of the hard stuff gets put on the wife or the mother, and that's unfortunate. And I mean, in dealing with like the pay gap, for women and men, like all the things, they play a role in that stuff. So we're trying to, I don't know, man. Like I think men just have to step up and speak out for them. I think that's really what the best thing you can do is step up and speak out for them. The same way NBA players are trying to speak up for the WNBA. So. And get more viewership there. I think that's what's going to have to happen.
Yeah, thanks.
Wayne, it's in terms of speaking out against inequities, period, and there's so many, right? Income inequality, gender, racial, even sexual preference or orientation. We're now more hyper aware after this last unfortunate year of the gaps in our society. In fact, COVID stripped off all the veneers. I mean, that's one of the good things that happened in a nasty, horrible way. Just ripped off that bandage, and we really, really see who's got the upper hand and who doesn't, and who's behind in society. It's so evident, and it's multi-leveled, and it's. I think that's one thing, is that we have the awareness and we're starting to talk about it now more than ever. In fact, I've never seen a time in my life where we're comfortable to have the uncomfortable topics.
Yeah.
And great point, Jeremiah. That is a great analysis. Oof. Are we comfortable to have uncomfortable dialogue on rough topics? Last question, and we're gonna wrap up, but I'm curious if you don't mind. I think you both touched on a little bit, but can you share what your wellness and self-care practices look like?
Yeah, for me, I'll go first, Jeremiah. For me, that's working out, that's spending time with my family. Believe it or not, I was talking to someone the other day on Twitter, and I said, getting outside and doing some yard work, getting my hands dirty, kind of makes me forget about like stuff that I got going on, and so now I've started, like cutting the grass, or just like doing things to get my hands dirty and like feel one with the earth, I guess. But that's for me, man. And then obviously, like I said, basketball, like I can play that every day of the week and I'll be fine.
Yeah, Jonas nailed all the key things for me, right? It's like, communities and people in your family, that's been critical. And for a while, I was really big into Clubhouse. Wayne, you saw me in there because I was able to connect with people and friends. In fact, I invited you into Clubhouse, and that was good. After a while, it's just too much. And then I do love outdoor things. So I picked up mountain biking because I'm no longer able to do Spartan races because everybody's touching all the same equipment. But I continue to do fitness and eating clean, and as I mentioned, cutting out alcohol. But yeah, I gained weight. I lost fitness capability, and I lost. The worst thing is my physical health is decent for who I am, but my mental health, has been a struggle in managing the kids and the challenges with business and clients not responding or yeah. So the physical aspect I can manage. It's like one of the few things I can manage. That's how I always felt. That was my root and my core. But it's just hard to stay always even keeled mentally. It's still something I'm struggling with.
Yeah. To that point about staying even keeled, and all of the fitness and stuff like that, and eating healthy. I think, building that network and that community of folks who are like-minded and wanting to do the same things that you're doing or have the same interests. I think that's been a gift for me. And that's also, I've been able to notice that on Twitter. You're able to find people who are supportive or have some of the similar interests, and you get to check in with each other on Twitter and just have accountability partners. Maybe the folks you never met before, but we all in this thing together, man. So
yeah, agreed.
Wayne, before we go, can I get a screenshot of all four of us and you too, Juan, just looking at the camera?
Yes.
All right.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Well, Jeremiah, Jonas, great to connect with both you again. Thank you for being here at the Action Summit, and I wish you well in your life, health, and wellness, and your family. So, thank you, and see you along.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.